You're the disease, and I'm the cure. That's my terrible Stallone impression. Don't close the video just yet, because we're going to be talking about the top 5 Stallone movies.
Stop or my mom will shoot.
No, that's a good one. That movie should have been on this list a long time ago. And if you're thinking that I'm going to be putting Cobra on this list just because I mentioned that quote, I'm not. But it is an honorable mention because that's a movie that was released by Cannon and is one of the best films from Cannon. So, number 5 is a movie that not many people know about. It was released in the early 80s and it stars Stallone and Rutger Hauer. And the movie's called Nighthawks. And in Nighthawks, Stallone has to detain a terrorist who wants a lot of media attention. The movie is noted for Stallone's very quiet tone acting. He's not going, I am the law, or doing those stupid crazy things, they drew first blood. None of that. It's just him just going about in New York trying to find this terrorist played by Rutger Hauer. Great movie if you've never seen it. Don't expect a big action movie. This is a slow burn. And very underrated. Number 4 is another movie released by Cannon. Very much like Cobra, this movie, it doesn't take itself that seriously. It is not that good, but I'm putting it on this list because it's one of my favorites, and that movie is Over the Top, where he literally arm wrestles for the custody of his child. I've never seen a movie like it, where it's literally the whole story is about him arm wrestling. It's not a great movie, but it's a fun movie. You're going to have a blast with it, especially with a group of friends. And it stands to me as one of the better Cannon releases. Stallone didn't do that many films with Cannon. I think he did one more other film with Cannon, but this is his 2 best ones in my opinion. Number 3 is a movie that many won't consider a Stallone movie, but Stallone is in it, and he does play a large part in this film.
My Kids?
It was almost that one. But can I put it on the list? Fuck! Number 3 is a movie called Death Race 2000, produced and directed by Roger Corman. While the star of this movie is David Carradine, the villain is Stallone, and Stallone gives a really zany and over-the-top performance. Over the top, can you see it? Put the two together? Death Race, if you've never seen it, it's one of those films it's very satirical, it's very fun, stay away from the remakes. There's even a remake that Corman himself produced recently called Death Race 2050 or something like that. Stay away from that one. Number 2. This is hard because I almost put this as number 1 because these are probably the movies that he's known for. And number 2 is First Blood. First Blood was pretty much the movie that solidified him as an action hero. Every film that he released after that was pretty much topping everything that he did previous, specifically First Blood. It's curious because First Blood tells a story of a man who comes back from Vietnam to see his friend and just to find out that he's dead, and nobody in that town wants him there, specifically the police. So they drop First Blood, like the title. He has to survive in the wilderness, and curious because the sequels misunderstood or misconstrued the meaning of that film. It was pretty much the effects of people who come from the war and how they have to survive in a world where they're no longer needed, where they have to take minimum wage jobs. Originally, spoiler alert, the ending of First Blood was Rambo dying. There was never supposed to be a sequel. But because sad screen audiences don't like sad endings, they changed the ending. But this is a classic film. If you've never seen it, do check it out. Number one, obviously, it's Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. I mean, it's an amazing movie. Come on now. The best.
Absolutely.
The best sequence in that movie is where he's sitting down and he's eating a whole bunch of food that his mom made. And his mom is force-feeding him to eat that food. It's a classic scene.
I love you.
Yes.
Actually, if you didn't pick this movie, I was gonna riot.
Yeah, I'm just kidding anyway. But it is an honorable mention.
It's not.
Number 1 is Rocky. Rocky is definitely his baby. It's one of those movies that you can watch over and over again. This movie always motivates me to work out. I always look at myself, fuck, I'm so freaking fat. I've never done with my life, and this guy made one of the best films ever. It's not just inspirational in terms of working out, but it has such a great love story that is so sincere. You can tell, even though it's scripted, that Stallone put his soul and heart into this character. You care about Rocky, this guy who's an underdog, who has come from nowhere and become someone. This film is pretty much the centerpiece and the film that was imitated by so many others. So many other films came afterwards that, like, there's movies like Invincible with Mark Wahlberg. There's Miracle. All these films are about, like, striving for more. But the one that did it first and did it best was Rocky. If there's any Stallone film that I didn't mention on this list, please leave it in the comment section down below. And please click the subscribe button. I'm Vest Guy, and this is Vest Top 5. Adrian! I did it! Here's
Great, Stallone.
Let me cock the gun so we can all forget about that. You're a disease. Now I'm the cure.
Say it again.
You're the You're a disease.